Hi guys, you're back with Jen, the Taxidermy Witch, and today I'm doing the Mugwort video, or I'm attempting to do it justice, because Mugwort is so important to me, as you know if you've seen any of my stuff. And here I've cut a fresh branch from my garden right before this video started. At the tip top, I don't know if we can see the seeds, but at the tip top there, it starts to form little tiny seeds, okay? And you want to let it go to seed, because you can grow generations of mugwort in your garden, and that's what we've been doing. And you can start it from a seed packet. Let me just grab one of those really quickly. Okay. You want to get some good organic seeds so that they've been not treated with chemicals. I think it's important, but it's up to you, you guys. And you can dry this, which we've done in a food dehydrator. 95 to 100 degrees is all we put it at, so it still stays technically raw food. And then I jar it up in a glass jar, and I use this in probably 90% of the work that I do. 85–90% of the work that I do. I also have some here that I purchased from either Star West Botanicals or Mountain Rose Herbs. I can't remember which one. And you can see it's just like the color isn't exactly there. It looks a little more dull, and in comparison to this bright green, or even the dried one that I have here, the color is just so different, you guys. So when I use this one, especially in spells, because the energy's there, because we created it in our own garden, I use this one more in like teas. We made an astral projection tea together, and I actually used both, but the bulk of it was this. So check out that video if you haven't seen it. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about like the different kinds that I have, what I do with them. When I have a fresh stick like this and I don't dry it, once a week when I get out of the shower, I cut a piece of mugwort and then I beat my body with it to cleanse myself all over my freshly showered body. Because when we shower, the water comes out of the ground, out of the earth, up onto us, and then back into the ground. So that's a really cleansing thing in itself. And you know, just to beat yourself with this so cleansing herb all over your skin is amazing. So that's something that I do with that. And now I just want to read from some books. So the first book we're going to read out of is Scott Cunningham's Encyclopedia for Magical Herbs. The gender is feminine, the planet is Venus, the element is Earth. Deities are Eremitus and Diana. I don't know if that's pronounced differently. Powers: strength, physical powers, protection, prophetic dreams, healing, astral projection. Okay? So it's really excellent because we're going to be able to use that to heighten our psychic abilities, heighten our meditations, aid in astral projection. Okay? And just generally so protective. Magical uses: place mugwort in the shoes to gain strength during long walks or runs. Or for this purpose, pick mugwort before sunrise, saying, Tolum te aramisa ne lassa sim envia. I'm guessing that's Latin. Now, this is something I do, and I've mentioned it before. A pillow stuffed with mugwort and slept upon will produce prophetic dreams. So I took some of this, and then I made my own little pillow, and it's just super thin, and it stays under my regular pillow, because if you sleep on it, it's like, I don't know, I don't want to get it like, you can't wash the pillow. So I keep it under my regular pillow to keep it clean, if you get what I'm saying. And you still, it's just right under your head. So, so amazing. And then I have marigolds under the bed for protection, and we talked about that as well. There's a lot of things just right under my bed, so it's kind of funny. Like, if I had a cleaning lady, she'd be like, what is going on? What does this lady have under her bed? Okay, yeah, so let's get back to it. Mugwort is also burned with sandalwood, or wormwood during scrying rituals. Scrying is when you're trying to do like crystal ball gazing. You can gaze into black mirrors, ink. I'm going to look into ink scrying, you guys, and let you know how that goes. So used in scrying rituals with sandalwood and mugwort infusion in a drink sweetened with honey before divination. Okay, so that would be something really cool to try. Infuse mugwort, sandalwood, or wormwood during scrying rituals and infuse in a drink sweetened with honey. I'll let you guys know about that because I'm definitely going to try that within this next month, because we've got to harvest this, I believe, before like September is the end of it. The infusion is also used to wash crystal balls and magic mirrors, and mugwort leaves are replaced around the base of the ball, crystal ball, or beneath it to aid in psychic workings. So you could also place this around your tarot cards. You could place the, and it could just be this one dried from the store, you guys. It doesn't have to be grown from your garden. Place it around your tarot cards. I put it around a lot of my spells and a lot of my workings, a lot of my offerings. I know that Bastet loves fresh mugwort, and I know that she loves it because it's rare around this house. Like, I'm really skimpy with like where I put it. Like, I know I need to save enough for the year because I don't want to just have this. I want to have this at least all year until it comes back fresh again. So like when this is fresh, she wants some, and I'm actually just gonna give her some now. Okay, back to it. So you can offer those to your deities. You can, you know, in divination, with any kind of divination, scrying, tarot. What else do you guys do? What's your favorite divination? Let me know. Pendulum work. I've only worked really with tarot cards, and I want to get into scrying, you know, because I've tried to approach so many other parts of like herbalism and magic. There's so much to learn. You could do this for 30 years and still be learning. And I mean, I'm doing this when I'm not working and I'm not sleeping and I'm not watching maybe a television show for 1 hour a day. This is all I'm doing. And I'm recording with you guys so I can show you like what a witch does throughout the day, like, and keeps a family and a life and all of that, you know, like, you can do this. You can just build this in your bedroom. We'll find a way, and I'll help you if you need help. Alright. The infusion is also crushed to wash crystals when carrying. Alright. When carrying mugwort, you cannot be harmed by poison, wild beasts, or sunstroke, according to ancient tradition. A hunter could carry this with them, and they wouldn't be hurt by a wild beast, okay? And that directly relates to taxidermy, doesn't it? The hunting that I support is not for sport. The hunting I support is what my family does and has done for generations to survive because they're very poor. My uncle's family survives on bear, elk, and deer meat all year long, and they harvest their own vegetables and potatoes, and that's what they eat, you guys. Like, I totally support that. They use every bit of the animal, and that is what witchcraft tells you to do. Do what you will, as long as you hurt none. And when we're talking about using something, whether it be from a plant, an animal, herbs, anything, you want to just take what you need for that time, okay? So don't take like too much. You know, I'm a little zealous here, but I use a lot of mugwort. So just remember those things. And I guess if you're on this channel, you think hunting's okay, right? But I just want to make sure for those of you who are viewing this that are a little bit squeamish with taxidermy, that you know that every piece I have, I know where it came from, and I know how it was sourced, and a lot of it is from my family, and there's really good energy attached to it because that helped nourish my family. So let me know how you guys feel about it, whether it's good or bad, please, because I want to know. It makes me nervous to talk about sometimes because I don't know how you feel. Alright, back into mugwort. When carrying mugwort, you can't be harmed by poison, wild beasts, or sunstroke. According to ancient tradition, in a building, mugwort prevents elvas and evil things, I don't know what that is, from entering, and bunches of mugwort are used in Japan by the Ainas to exorcise spirits of disease. So it's not just used in witchcraft like in the UK, US, and Scotland. It's used over in Japan in their rituals. And remember, they leave out bowls of rice for their ancestors. That's an offering. I mean, we're all doing it in just different ways, and that's like how I like to approach it. So over in Japan, they were thought to exorcise spirits of disease who were thought to hate the odor. So if you burn this, the spirits would leave. In China, it is hung over doors to keep evil spirits from the building. If you have a lot of mugwort in your room, you're going to be okay. Even if you have all these bones, all this taxidermy, all this spirit life surrounding you, you're going to be okay if you have mugwort and you work with it and you touch it and you love it. Grow some, even if it's from seed, a tiny plant. Oh my gosh, you guys. It will love you back. Alright. Mugwort is also carried to increase lust and fertility, to prevent backache. Awesome. And to cure disease and madness. Madness! Placed next to the bed, and it aids in achieving astral projection. Again, if it's right under your pillow, it's going to be great. My altar, which you can kind of see over here, like I have my herbs up top and then my altar down at the bottom. My bed's over here. I get up from my bed and I go straight down to my altar and I sit. There's mugwort down there, and I think that that really aids in my meditations and, you know, my connection with that. Also, it being under my pillow, I'm going to have more prophetic dreams, right? Okay, so that was a wrap up on everything that's on mugwort in there, and it was like a lot, you know? There's a lot in there. Whew. A lot to talk about mugwort. Okay, so in this book here, it's a great book. It's just like a cool encyclopedia, and it'll just have random things. It had a lot on mandrake and other things that I'm interested in that I can't mention. Or I could, in the comment, I could mention. Mugwort. Okay, so easing the pain of childbirth, for many women's disorders, and for epilepsy and hysteria. These are the magical properties in this book. Witches and folk doctors have for centuries regarded it as a magical healing herb, as a tea, and used as an aid in divination and general psychic work. Stuffed into pillows, again, it dispels nightmares and promotes divination and dreams. In France and Germany, it is gathered on St. John's Eve, and I don't know what that is. I'm going to have to look that up. Consequently being referred to there as St. John's plant, and thought to protect the corn from mice. So, it was gathered on St. John's Eve to protect the corn from mice, basically. Some modern Wiccans use the tea as a bath for consecrating crystals, amulets, and talismans. Scott said that in his book, too. So, you guys, that's a great thing to do. And, you know, I've heard of that, but never done it. I should start doing it and see how it works. I usually just use the moonlight, but why not amp it up? Get a bowl you love, a piece of pottery you made, or something similar, something like you thrifted that you love, like a bowl or something cool like that. Fill it with water that's either from, please no tap water, no fluoridated water. Fill it with water from either a well or a canyon water dispenser, or some kind of like Evian or mineral water, or high alkaline water, like from Trader Joe's has one that's like 9.5 alkaline, and I've tested it and it is. So get a beautiful water, one that's really good, your favorite one. Evian is beautiful, I think. Fill it in that special bowl. Put mugwort in there. Put it in the moonlight, like set it out right as the dawn starts to turn to dusk, okay? And leave it in the moonlight. And then, in a couple hours, so you have a couple sprigs of this in the bowl. Then in a couple hours, bring your crystals and just leave them in there for a little bit when the moon's at its fullest. Because some crystals will dissipate. I can tell you for sure, like, certain types of quartz will start to fall apart, and softer stones will start to fall apart, like a selenite. Well, selenite doesn't mean to be cleansed, but a softer stone will start to fall apart. So just leave it in there for like 10-15 minutes. Then take it out and finish blessing it in the moonlight. Let it dry in the moonlight. Whew. I'm doing that this full moon. And that's just so cool. Like these videos are like a book of shadows for me. It's like I can record my thoughts. I can look back on them. And that's so great. And that's why I'm like loving making this big family with you guys. The Witches and Pagans Amino app has been so, the Pagans and Witches Amino app has been so amazing. I met so many people there as well. And I hope that you all come over to the YouTube channel. So, finish by saying, because I trailed off on that thought and we thought of something really amazing, didn't we? Like just on the spot together as friends. I love it. So, some even use it as a ritual drink at full moon S-bats. So I'm guessing that they would just put this into water, bless it in the full moon, and then drink it on an S-bat. But in Normandy, it is traditionally used to prevent witches from spoiling butter. What? When I read that, I was like, okay. Nice last thought on Mugwort. There's not much in this giant book on Mugwort, but you know, that was from that. I couldn't find anything in the Wicca in the kitchen, which I was kind of bummed out about. But it's okay. I mean, not a lot of people probably like the taste of Mugwort unless you really, really love herbal teas, or you like put lavender in your green beans like I do with a little lemon. That's yummy, guys. Yummy, yummy in my tummy. The last thing I wanted to talk about was maybe about 15 years ago is when I found Mugwort, and that's before I found Witchcraft. So I learned about it first in a medicinal aspect, and I want to share that with you guys as well. Now from this book, nothing that I share with you is going to be magical, but you may hear a couple things that make sense in the magical world, okay? So, Mugwort on the medicinal properties. The part used is the leaves and the root. Collection, the leaves and the flowering stalks should be gathered just as blossoming time, which is between July and September. Cool. Because right now we're in August, right? Or, yeah, right? Alright, indications. Mugwort can be used whenever a digestive stimulant is needed. So if you're having digestive issues, this will help you get things moving. And it will aid in the digestion through the bitter stimulations of the juices, while also providing a carminative oil. I don't know what that is. It has a mildly nervine action in aiding depression. Awesome. So I think that is like connection with your like astral thing, like helping in meditation and psychic awareness. It's helping you get out of this depression and into this like higher, lovelier. Add Mugwort into your tea, guys. Just, I think if you add it into your tea, you can open up your astral I point out to my window where it's charging in the sun and moonlight. You can open up your astral projections and you can help with depression. And when you're, like a lot of you are just starting school again, so, I mean, that's a time where you could really just, like, your psychic awareness and your happiness are really, you need to be on point with those, right? So add a little of this into your tea and just use one of those clampets, or make your own tea bag if you like. Alright, aiding in depression and easing tension, which appears to be due to the volatile oil. Volatile oil means that the oil in it dissipates into the air really quickly. So if you had an essential oil and you read it was a volatile oil, it means it'll wear off quickly. Volatile oils in the essential oil world are like citruses and lighter smells like that. Florals are kind of in the like mid to higher volatile, and then the less volatile are like the musks and the patchoulis and the sandalwoods and stuff. So Mugwort is the oil that is from it is volatile, so it will wear off quickly. Then I just want to tell you what volatile meant. So so it is essential that this is not lost in preparation. Mugwort may also be used in the aiding of normal menstrual flow. And that's why because I had issues with those types of things as young as 14, like severe pain and longer cycles than normal. So my naturopath was, telling us to look into this, and man, that really helped with pain and to regulate cycles. And now I understand why, because I feel like it attunes with the moon, and the moon is directly connected to your menstrual cycles, guys. Look into it, and I know a lot of people disagree with me, so if you disagree, I apologize, but I've done immense research on this, and I could talk about that more, but my naturopath says, and lots of doctors I've spoken with have said, that your ovulation should happen with the full moon, and your bleeding should your menstrual should happen with the new moon, when the moon's at its darkest. So if you can try and get your body on that cycle through either meditation, asking from your guides, lighting a candle for it, sitting out in the moonlight is the best way, you guys. Sit out there with some mugwort. I think you can attune to this. I'm telling you that the magical properties say this, and it's attuned. And then the medicinal properties say this, and it's like, it makes so much sense together. The research is coming from different places, but it makes a lot of sense to me. And let me know if you agree, because I really want to hear your thoughts on like how they add up, magical and medicinal. And the last is just talks about the preparation of the dosage. Infusion. Pour a cup of boiling water onto 1 to 2 teaspoons full of the dried herb, and leave to infuse for 10 to 15 minutes in a covered container. So you're not going to want to let the steam come out, because it's volatile, and that can get lost in the steam. So if you have one of those teacup lids, or you can go to the Japanese dollar store and they have great ones that have ceramic lids, put it in there, shut the lid, alright? This should be drunk 3 times a day, and then set a timer, because this is all important, especially in the medicinal effects. Set a timer. And this should be drunk 3 times a day. And that would be for any of these ailments. If you were trying to help with depression, or what else did it say? Did it say anxiety? Indications. For digestion, depression, easing tension, nervine action, and aiding in the menstrual flow, you would want to drink that tea 3 times a day. Mugwort is used as a flavoring in a number of... I'm not a doctor, this isn't medical advice from me, I'm just reading from this book that's written by David Hoffman. Mugwort is used as a flavoring in a number of aperitif drinks, a pleasant way to take it. Now if you make a tincture, which I'm going to show you guys how to make a tincture, not on this video, but soon. A tincture, you get, this is 190 proof Everclear that I've gotten, grain alcohol, and this is excellent for tinctures, but it's not gluten free. And then in here I just have the highest proof vodka I can, because that is gluten free. And these are not for drinking, it's only in a medicinal way. You take like 2 or 3 drops, and I'll read this to you, but what you do is you get your dried mugwort, and then you pour the alcohol over a bunch of it, and then you leave it for like 6 weeks, and you shake it a little bit a day. And you leave it for 6 weeks. Scott Cunningham makes great YouTube videos on how to do tinctures. That's how I learned, okay, you guys? You leave it for 6 weeks, shake a little bit a day, and then at the end you get cheesecloth, drain it out. And if you see these little tiny bottles of tinctures that say all your herbal names on them, and they're $27, one jar that you make, this would make $800 worth of tincture, 1 bottle of Everclear, I'm telling you. All it takes is time, jars, cheesecloth, and, your intention. Put magical intention onto these medical things. Whew! You want to work on back pain. Oh my gosh. You want to work on headaches, depression. Oh my gosh. Do the medical aspect plus put magical intention on top of it. I'm telling you, this will be good stuff. So, but check with your doctor on all of it before you take it, because, you know, like, you always just need to check with your doctor before taking any kind of medicine. Tincture, take 1 to 4 milliliters of the tincture 3 times a day. So yeah, there's also ways to do non-alcohol tinctures. You can use glycerin, you can use, I think that there's a couple other ways, but the 2 ways I know are alcohol and glycerin. Oh, you could use Bragg's raw apple cider vinegar. That's great. You don't have to use alcohol at all. I guess you want to check with your doctor on anything, but that's a pure herbal. It doesn't have any alcohol. So, you guys, I think I got through it. I talked about everything. This was that last book that we talked about on the medical aspects. And I'm so happy to be here with you guys and show you my mugwort and get this video done, because I keep talking about doing a video and I don't want to just talk about it. Alright, I love you guys. I may or may not do another video tonight, but I really hope to, because I have a good work week starting. So have a beautiful day, and let me know how you're doing. Good to see you.